Okay, so we are back again. We are live. This time not in the outdoor area, but we're in the stomping grounds. We're in the studio. Felt like this would be a little bit more suitable. 2 weeks later, of course. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor, subscribe, like the video, comment down below your thoughts. Um, we're gonna pick it back off of the last video, um, basically talking about toxic relationships. And if you watch the first video, we were talking about the delusion that tends to occur in a lot of relationships to where a person just does not want to see a person for who they are. Like they believe they can change them by doing things for them, by letting them have their way. But in actuality, that person's never going to change. And if they don't feel a need to do so because you have not set any boundaries, why would they change? You know what I mean? So do me a favor, go back and watch that video. It was uploaded 2 weeks ago. And let me know what you think. Okay. So this will be part 2 of toxic relationships. Now, this is I would like to, I don't know if you want to call it a trend, or is this something that people have been doing for like ever? I'm not sure. But I scrolled through Instagram, and this is primarily women. Now, ladies, I promise you, I'm not picking on you. I'm not trying to take sides. I'm just going off of what I see on the internet and from people that I know personally that do these things, and they're women. There is this toxic trend of hiding the person that you're with. Okay? I see these videos or IG stories of ladies, all hugged up and booed up with, a guy, and they will put like an emoji or a GIF or something like that over their face, right? And I'm like, at first I didn't really think anything of it, and then I started seeing this happen like a lot. So I'm thinking like, she didn't just do this. She did it. She did it. She did it. Now, after talking to a female about this yesterday, she said that she's seen guys do it too. I don't know. I haven't seen it because, people forget that men and women are different. Very, very different. And it just doesn't make any sense for a man to do it because we are creatures of, physicality. We like what we see. We like the body. The looks. That's important to us. And I'm not saying that it's right, but a lot of guys like to parade the women that they're with, especially if she's pretty, especially if she has a nice body. He wants to show her off to his other guys, his friends. He wants to show her off to other men to make them jealous. That's just a man thing. So it doesn't really make any sense, that a guy would try to cover who he's with. But I see a lot of women do this, and it's a toxic trait, okay? Because to me, it screams insecurity. Now, I've been married for 12 years, and I've been with my wife for 20 years. So that's a very, very long time. And I can recall, like, earlier in our relationship, I did struggle with some insecurities, but that was my fault because, I had to come to terms with, you're with a beautiful woman, and people are gonna look. So you're either gonna get angry every time somebody looks at your woman, or you're just gonna have to just deal with it and be like, well, I mean, at least she's not ugly. No offense, but that's just how I see it. So even to this day, she still gets looks, and it is what it is. I know who she coming home with. I know who she sleeps next to in the bed, so I don't trip about it at all. But I just know that if you are, ladies, if and I have to talk to you because I see you do this all the time. If you're hiding him, what does that really say? Does that say long-term relationship? Does that say husband material? Because I mean, if you're with this guy for X amount of time and it starts to get serious, an engagement may come up or whatnot. What are you gonna do? Like, keep blocking his face out, keep scribbling on his face so nobody can tell. I don't want anybody to know who it is because he's all mine. I get it, he's yours, but you can't think that it's healthy to do that type of stuff and think that it's okay. Because I feel like, look, if you don't want anybody to know who you're with, why are you even posting in the first place? This is just one of those times where we say that social media is just, it's taken over. It's basically king, I say, when it comes to just knowing everybody's business. So my thing is, if you don't want people to know who you're with, then you shouldn't be posting who you're with, other than doing all of this weird stuff. Like, I've seen, like, literally, women take pictures with guys and they will put their hand over their face and then put their face like over them. Like, it's just weird stuff, and I'm like, you just want attention at the end of the day. And does that really express that you care about this person, this guy that you're with? Because I don't see it. I really don't, because it doesn't make sense to me. Because if this is somebody that you are sincerely considering to be a candidate for somebody that you want to be with long term, like, this could potentially be your husband. What are you gonna do? Just, you're gonna put a mask on him every time you go in public? Are you gonna cover his face up on every single picture, like photos, family photos? You can see the kids, but you can't see his face. Like, it's stupid. It's dumb. It makes no sense. And I don't think a man would ever take you seriously if that's how you're going to go about being with him. A lot of you ladies complain about there's no good men in the world, and men don't treat me right, and what am I going? What's wrong with me? What am I doing incorrect? But when you do things like this, you're not thinking about the long-term effects that can have as far as how he feels about you. Because in his head, he's like, wow, like, she really is trying to hide me from people. Like, some of you are doing this because you don't want your friends to find out, or you don't want somebody that you know to find out. I mean, would you scare somebody's gonna take your man? Is that what it is? Like, because if that's what it is, that's not an issue that you would take with another woman. That is an issue that you would discuss with your man. Because when two people, I can't believe I even have to break this down, but when two people are together, there's supposed to be this trust, this bond between two people, and nobody should be able to penetrate that. Nobody should be able to come between that. Nobody should be able to destroy what it is you've built. And if it happens, it's probably because there was a breach on the inside of the relationship. So that either means that the man has failed or the woman has failed. That is how these things happen. So, I mean, if a man loves you and you care about him and you show him that you care, there's not a woman that can take him from you. You don't have to worry about that. There's not a single woman on the planet that can take him away from you if you respect him, if you treat him right, if you support him, you got his back, and that you just let him know that you belong to him. You know what I'm saying? And men really thrive off of respect. A lot of you ladies think that it's sex, and it's not. It's that's an important attribute, obviously, but it's really the respect that you give a man that causes him to be loyal, that causes him to come home at night, that causes him to, not want anybody but you. Like, you don't have to do the extra nonsense, the blurring of the face, the you like holding hands, just videos of you holding this person's hand. Like, all it does is just create this unnecessary suspense. And all it does is really just get people talking. And it makes you a focal point. Now, if you didn't want attention, you definitely got it now. If you're doing weird stuff like that, now some of y'all not going to listen. But I'm trying to tell you that if you keep doing this, that relationship is going to fail. It's going to fail because no man takes a woman seriously that does that ridiculousness, because it is childish. And a man doesn't want a little girl. He wants a grown woman who is secure, not insecure, who is confident, and who trusts the man that she's with. If you got to do the weird stuff, that little middle school, high school stuff, then you're not going to keep him. I don't care how much you sleep with him. I don't care what freaky stuff that you do. I don't care how much you spoil him. If a man gets a sense that you don't trust him, and there's really no real respect there, as far as like taking pride in you being with him, he's not gonna stay. He's not, because there's always going to be another woman who will do everything that you do while still showing that you care by not hiding him from the world. Again, you cannot do this for the long term. Now, maybe some of you ladies out there are not trying to do it long term. Maybe it's just for fun. Maybe it's a fling. I don't know, or a situation. I don't know what y'all call that, because again, I'm married. I don't live that type of lifestyle. I'm old fashioned, of course. I've chosen one woman to be with and raise my children, of course. But I still observe all the behavior that I see people do on a day-to-day basis. And this is why we see so many single parent homes, single mothers. This is why we see so many divorces. This is why we see people just not getting married, commitment issues. We see a lot of problems because of weird stuff like that. Okay. Toxicity in relationships comes in so many different waves, and it doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't. Like, there's right ways of dating, and then there's wrong ways of dating. I'm going to continue with the toxic, relationship series, of course, because I wanna try to like pinpoint as many points as I can, so that people can really understand that potentially you may be doing something that's causing unnecessary strain on your relationship, causing some toxicity possibly, and you could potentially save it. And then, after we're done talking about that, we will talk more about the good things, positive relationship traits, things that will cause your relationship to thrive, things that will cause your relationship to blossom, and for you to get the complete fulfillment out of the relationship. Because there's a lot of things that you can do that need to take place if you want things to last. I don't know about you, but a lot of people that enter relationships, I'm assuming you want it to last. Why would you waste your time and get with somebody if it wasn't going to be something serious in which you pursue? I don't know. Maybe some of you are not interested in settling down. Maybe some of you like that freaky stuff and you want to continue living on the edge. But let me tell you this. We all get old one day. And all of the things in which you do when you're young, you won't be able to do when you get a certain age. And because you didn't establish a foundation of who you are as a person and what you have to offer somebody, you could potentially end up alone for the rest of your life. Now, I'm not trying to scare. I'm just telling it like it is. You can play your little games. This goes for you guys too, especially you guys. You play a lot of games. You can play your little games. You can do all of that stuff, but just understand you're gonna be old one day, and you're gonna wish that you stopped 20 years ago, 30 years ago, because you don't have a companion to finish life off. And some of you will say, I don't want to get married. I never want to get married. I promise you, the same people that say they don't want children, they end up regretting they never had kids when they get old. The same people that say they never want to get married regret it because they don't have anybody when they're old. Because nobody deserves to die alone. And you will die alone if you don't get your act straight when you're young. But that's just my opinion. All right, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed this style of video. Part 2 of relationship toxicity. Make sure you check out the first episode as well. And we will keep this going. Do me a favor, please. Like this video, share it, comment, subscribe to the channel, and tell me your thoughts. Peace.